it's Omicron. Falcon hates puns and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello, and welcome to the podcast, Falcon. It's podcast day.
It is indeed a beautiful podcast day.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. I got asked to do a day of overtime, so I worked this morning. And they happened to ask me 2 minutes after I'd finished my third coffee in an hour in the morning yesterday. So I was like, yeah, I'm not sleeping tonight, I guess. So
Definitely not.
normally I have one coffee, and that's, enough. Yeah. So having extras just really kept me awake for a very long time.
You say extras?
Yeah, I had 3 instead of 1. I was just
gotcha.
I could go for another coffee. You know what? I could go for another coffee. And then
Extra
they're like,
coffees.
yeah, and then like, do you want to work? And I'm like, okay. And so I've had 3 hours of sleep. It was fun. It was a good
Yeah,
time.
that sounds glorious. Yeah, 3 hours of sleep is the best.
Would
There
recommend.
we go.
Well,
Now your sub goal is showing up. For a second there, it was like,
it was broke. Yeah, I saw
Yeah,
that.
okay. I was like, what is that?
So
It's just your
I
sub
know
goal.
why it broke.
Okay.
I changed my Twitch password over the weekend
Ah.
because I couldn't remember it. And I finally got my friends back together to play Dungeons and Dragons. And I log into D&D Beyond, which is where I have all of my D&D books and rules and character sheets. And so I needed to log in on all of their devices
Right.
so that they could access their sheets. And so it basically broke everything for a little while. Everything on mine on Twitch. Every time I tried to open something, it was just like, please put in your password. All right, now receive a text message. Enter the code. Then it was like, okay, you've received 4 codes in 5 minutes, all on separate devices. You're not getting any more codes. I'm like, okay, I can't sign in anymore.
That is too many codes. Sorry.
Yeah, and so it made me log back into my Twitch Studio Beta, because that's what I stream with. And then it also couldn't reach the dashboard, which it pulls the sub goal from.
And now it can. Hooray.
And now it can.
Great
Yeah.
victory.
Yep. Epic victory.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel about that level of security? Is it annoying or do you feel good about it?
I mean, 2-factor authentication is fine. I'm happy with that. The fact that it couldn't pull from my own dashboard without me having to refresh it. I didn't have to put in my password just now. I just needed to go push a button that said, refresh the source that you pull this from. And I was like, okay, done, boss. All good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Annoying, certainly the case. Yes.
Yeah. So.
So, yeah, it's been 85 degrees here today. It was
Mhm.
85 degrees at 1 p.m. and it's still 85 degrees at 7 p.m. So,
95 in Fahrenheit is 29.44444. That's warm for 7 p.m.
it is. It's
Mhm.
certainly warm for 7 p.m.
Are you gonna brave it out for as long as you can before turning on air conditioning?
No, I had to turn on the air conditioning because I have the kids this week.
Oh, okay.
When I'm alone, I'll definitely tough it out. I'm like a puddle of my own sweat. But
Uh-huh.
the kids are like, "What is wrong with you?" No,
You don't pay the bill. So-
which is fair. I mean, yeah. So I had to turn it on today for the first time this year. And it's just like,
yeah, I got a little space heater going right behind me at the moment because this room is not warming up. It's a nice sunny day. It's nice outside. What is the temperature where I live? It says it's 19 Celsius, which makes it 67 Fahrenheit.
mm-hmm.
That's nice.
Pretty nice. It's nice.
nice.
It's not warm.
It feels like 10, 15 degrees cooler than that in this room.
Right.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I guess it doesn't look like you're getting direct sunlight unless there are windows I can't see.
I mean, there's a window right behind me.
I know, but the sun's going the other way.
Yeah.
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 You're not getting sunlight directly into your room.
No. I won't. But it's weird because they do list this room as the sun room, and at no point will the sun ever peer directly into it.
Not even like at any point all year, because the sun kind of moves and stuff.
Maybe later in the year. I don't know. I haven't lived here that long.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe when it's really cold to get direct sunlight. That would be nice, actually.
Maybe
that's how it was designed. So you don't get direct sunlight in like the summer and, summerish months, but when it's really cold out, you get direct sunlight.
Maybe, but we're
Maybe.
We're closer to the cold months than the summer months at this point. Like, we're one away.
Yeah, that's true. So probably not. What you're saying is the sun's position can't change enough to where you're going to get direct sunlight in there.
I don't think so. There is a window directly to my right, and maybe it'll get some in like sunrise, but because it is an east-facing window. But there is the neighbor's house it has to contend with.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah.
And they're 87-foot high hedges.
No. It's more the trees. It's their roof and our trees that are the problems.
Ah, okay.
Well,
it's your own doing, I suppose.
Maybe I'll set up a giant mirror directly behind me to reflect light in.
Yeah.
That won't get super annoying for anyone.
Nope. Reflected and focused sun rays. Set something on fire. I recommend you not do this.
Well, I'll point it at this giant pile of kindling I keep in my house.
Yeah.
And
the asbestos in your walls.
Oh, the asbestos will protect me. It's not flammable.
Really?
Yeah, that's why they used it, because it doesn't catch fire easily.
That's the whole point.
That's the point, yeah.
Fair enough. It reminds me of a Tumblr post I saw posted on Reddit once, where it's like I went to a mystical art store and bought a crystal ball once, and the person who sold it to me said, "Never leave this uncovered." In your room, and they're like, "Oh, how come?" It's like because it focuses sun rays, and houses have been burned down with this. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Some practicality.
That is a problem I've heard giant skyscrapers have had, where they're like, we're an 87-story building. We did not account for the reflection of the sunlight, and they're melting hoods of people's cars or singeing people's hair, on the street below them.
Can you imagine? What happened to my car? You're looking around. Like, what on earth? Who's got a flamethrower?
Who lit this tiny spot, like this inch sphere on the hood of my car on fire?
Yeah.
I like Aki's
architecture.
Aki's reasoning for the is it because of spooky magic? No, because the glowing orb in the sky will get mad at your house. Which
that's a more fun way to put it. Definitely.
Yeah. I approve.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
So I'm just upset that we basically went from freezing 2 feet of snow instantly to summer. It was cool.
Maybe you should move somewhere where there's more seasons.
Maybe. Although I technically can't leave the state due to the divorce agreement and the custody with my kids.
Well, that's...
I'm not sure there's anywhere in Utah that's better at the seasons thing. Kind of like a Mountain West problem. I think Aki has the same problem in Colorado, honestly.
Probably. I mean, you on paper can still live there. Just forward your mail. It'll be fine. They'll never know. They'll never know.
Yeah, the kids won't tell my ex that they're living in Idaho now.
No, of course not.
Idaho kind of has the same problem. I'm trying to think of all the places I've lived. I guess back east, Massachusetts did the seasons pretty well.
Okay.
There was a clearly defined winter, spring, summer, and fall.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's more like a back east thing than a
Oh,
western U.S. thing.
maybe.
Because like California's not good at it either. California is either like it is warm all the time,
Mm-hmm.
or it is, you know, super super duper hot, and in the winter it's kind of warm. Like they don't really do fall over there either.
Yeah. It's unfortunate for them. Missing out.
Quite. Anyway, yep. So it's hot, sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I've complained about this before, but like when I'm playing a game that is really demanding on my GPU, that thing's running and it heats up the room, not like intensely,
Mm-hmm.
not like things are catching on fire, but there's a difference between I'm sitting here just browsing Reddit
Mm-hmm.
versus when I'm sitting here playing a game and the fan's going. "Wah!"
What games are you playing that are that GPU intensive? Because you play like Brood War and StarCraft, and neither of them I would consider games that are going to need to take advantage of the entire system. You know.
In the past, Cyberpunk
Mm-hmm.
and Red Dead Redemption 2 have had this issue.
Cyberpunk, I would agree. Red Dead 2 looks like a pretty game, but I don't think it's particularly demanding.
It's a PC port, man. Have you seen PC ports in the last couple of years? It
Sure.
shouldn't be. You're right. It should not be demanding.
What are its minimum specs? A GTX 770. Okay.
Whew.
So, yeah. It should not be stressing you. What is it? 3090? 3080?
3080. Shouldn't
Yeah.
be. No. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. Although, speaking of, I did have lunch with Lion Cat and
Yeah.
Jones last week. They were in town for a family thing. Came up from California.
Yep. Good lunch.
They're like, let's go to lunch. And I was like, okay. And it was great. And they're supposed to take a picture for Omicron, and they didn't. So maybe we made this up. Maybe it was a lie.
It could have all been a lie. I did ask for pics or proof, like,
Mhm.
and they just sent me a selfie from their car. I'm like, that could be anywhere. You didn't even Photoshop Falcon in. He's
I
not
know,
in this
they
shot.
They didn't even try. They didn't even like, here are the mountains. They're just like, here's us in the car.
Well, there's something in the back window that looks like
Is it big, huge mountains?
there are mountains with snow caps on them, and looks like a billboard for a casino.
Okay. So
Uh,
probably Wendover, be my guess.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I can send you this photo. Okay.
Sure. Don't see why not.
I mean, it doesn't have them in it now that I think about it. It sent me two. Like, they're just like, here's one of us being in Utah, and then here's one out the back of our window.
Good job, guys.
Yeah. Do you recognize that area?
Open in browser.
Yeah. So you get the full experience.
Yep, it's a Wendover gambling billboard. I was right about that. Yeah. This is like North Salt Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, those are like the foothills. It's kind of a smaller part of the mountain range, but Yep. Looks like they're on about 6 south or something.
Sure.
Good stuff. Not the best picture they could have sent, but whatever. Better
I
than
mean,
nothing, I suppose.
If a Utanian confirms that this is Salt Lake City, I will believe that they were there. Like, I'll take that as proof.
Okay, good. I mean, nowhere else on Earth are there billboards for Wendover. So that's how you can know. That alone. We've talked about this. Wendover is a town on the border between Nevada and Utah that only exists because gambling is illegal in Utah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it is a casino town, and if one day Utah legalized gambling, Wendover would die. So my theory is that at this point, they've started actually lobbying and like donating to campaigns to keep gambling illegal in Utah, because otherwise, I don't know what they're going to do. Yeah.
They have absolutely nothing else going on there.
No, literally nothing else. It is a gambling town. The end. You show up, you check into a hotel, you gamble for a couple days, you go home. That's it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, there are buses that run from Salt Lake to Wendover solely so you can gamble.
That's funny.
Good times. Good times. All right. Well, what else is going on? The StarCraft 2 happened.
Yeah, they played 2 of the groups of GSL, with another one
Yeah.
going to be played tonight.
And absolutely no surprises in groups A or B. I think we picked these perfectly.
I think in Group B, we predicted Hero would be likely to move out.
You are correct. Hero not making it out. But I mean, it's Kieran Solar and Hero. Like,
right. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, Cure 2 owed him, and then Solar 2 owed him. So, like, woof, that's a rough 4-game stretch from Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess we had picked Hero to come out over Cure because they were like, what has Cure done for us lately? And what he's done for us lately is defeated Hero. So, and Solar, actually.
It checks out.
Yeah. He's doing fine in Group B. Well done, sir. So, yeah, then Group C and Group D is going to happen like in 8 hours and 2 days from now.
Yep.
Looking forward to it. I
I
want to see what Stats does. It's good to see Stats is back.
Yeah, Seth's back. It's good to see that. And in Group D as well. He's back. I want to see what he's doing.
Totally interested to see what Anno's up to.
I think that's all the GSL. Unless we want to talk about their Patreon.
We can.
Yeah.
Want people to make people mad at us?
Why will people be mad at us?
Because you go.
Well, now I'm worried that I'm going to say something that people will be mad about.
I believe our conversation to this point has been the highest tier on the Patreon.
They added another tier.
Is it higher than the one that was the highest?
No, it's lower.
Oh.
They just kind of shuffled things about. If you want replays, instead of it being $30 a month, it's now $16.50. So it's cheaper to get the replays.
Holy crap.
Yeah. But there is Why did they do that?
Why did they do that?
Probably because people were asking, if I had to make a guess.
It's $10 now. Here.
Yep. 16.50 here.
Yeah. Because everything's
Plus
up in Australia.
Yeah, sure. So they still have the highest possible tier, of which there are 10 and 6 ratings, so there are now 4 people who have bought this for $1,609, or what I assume is $1,000 US.
Let me take a look real quick.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 even US.
1,000 even. Ridiculous, but even more ridiculous when you realize what you get. You get GSL behind interview,
which you get with the first 3 tiers. So.
You get with the first 4 tiers. You get it with everything. The very first, the lowest tier, $8.50 Australian, or probably like $5 US if I had to guess the price on that. That's what you get. You get GSL behind interviews, which I assume is behind the scenes. Or some interviews with the players. It's not particularly descriptive.
Nope.
Maybe they have an interview behind someone while they're not looking.
Probably not.
Probably not, but, you know.
That would be really funny if it was.
It's like, hey, Maru's over there. Let's interview Solar over here. You know, just with his back to him. It would be great. So
you interview Solar about Maru while Maru's back is turned.
Yes, you interview people behind their backs. That's what this is.
Oh, that's gorgeous. I like it.
So the second tier, Code tier, you get the GSL replay package. That's it.
Which is awesome because people have been asking me, hey, this amazing game happened at GSL, can you cast it? And I'm like, no. GSL has those on lockdown. Yeah.
But now you can get it. You can cast GSL replay games. It's been 13 years for GSL. First time you can get replays openly.
Pretty insane.
Yeah,
I'm very happy about it.
Are you gonna get them?
Yep, already did.
Already did. Excellent.
I did just now because the
Just
price
now.
changed. I was going to, but part of me was like, $30. I was like whining about it. I was going to, but it was going to take me a minute.
Well, you were gonna wait and see if the games were good first.
I don't think so. I think it's
Oh,
pretty much always
really?
worth it to get the GSL replays.
Well, that's part of the discussion that I've seen around this, which is GSL replays are not nearly as exclusive as they once were. The players who play in them now play in a lot of online cups and other places. So getting, a Dark Beyond replay is not a unicorn replay that it once was 10 years ago,
Because they're competing in ESL events too. Right?
Yes, there's a lot of online cups. You can get these replays in other places. Holy Moly, Woody TV cups, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But once upon a time, a lot of these players just played in GSL, and their replays were not on the market.
No.
So
Good.
Good. The third tier is $48.50 a month Australian, code S tier, and you get the replays and the behind interviews. So while it would be infinitely cheaper just to set up a second account and buy these individually,
Someone messed up bad here. Yeah.
you could get a bulk package and pay twice as much.
Who's running this thing, and how do we complain?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not
tasteless.
Probably not tasteless. Maybe it's Slate. They're like, hey, you're the new guy. You do it.
It's poor State.
Okay.
Everyone hates me. I screwed up the Patreon.
He did it in just enough wonky English that people won't suspect him, though. It's brilliant on his part. Behind interview. It's really thrown us off the trail. The fourth tier, the Nest Tier Award, is more than triple the price of Code S tier at 161 Australian dollars, or probably 100 US if I had to guess.
Yep.
And you get the GSL player profile photo. I'm assuming these are a wallpaper or a collection of the player profile photos that they have for their intros.
But it says one photo.
It is lacking the plural, yes.
This is written by someone who does not speak English as a first language. Guaranteed.
Yes, guaranteed, 100%. Maybe you do only get one.
And it's just a collage. It's just all of the player photos. Just what?
Well, I thought maybe you get to pick one player. You at least get to pick a player. And I want Mars. You get Mars, and then no one else can have Mars. Only you.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to throw this out here, but an extra 100 Australian dollars is not worth it for player photos that you could pause the stream and then just screen cap and have.
If the internet didn't exist, then yes.
Yes.
But it certainly does. So
yeah.
I have not asked for the value here at all. No. Anyone at the 100-month level is probably just supporting GSL for $100 because they want to support them for $100.
Right.
Yeah.
I imagine the same goes for the fourth and final tier, which is the G5L champion.
That does say G5L.
Which is probably not a mistake, but in homage to Maru almost winning 5 GSLs if he wins this.
Oh, you think so?
Yes, because they gave him the G4L trophy for his last win. Or did he win 5? Has he won 5? They gave him a G5L trophy, I believe.
Okay. So they're being clever.
They're being clever.
Not being typo.
No. This comes with the behind interview, so the one interview, the one profile photo, the replay package, and 2 tickets to the GSL finals.
Which we've established have cost in the past
$5.
$5.
$5 whole dollars.
Does not include flight or accommodation.
Ticket only.
Yes.
Now, I've seen VODs of GSL for the finals. They get pretty packed. This doesn't say it guarantees you good seats, just that you have entry. So if you paid 1,600 Australian or 1,000 US and had to stand at the back because you were running late, I would be pretty pissed.
Yeah, these should be front row seats. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It doesn't say they're not front row seats.
Doesn't say that they are.
Yeah. You should probably say that.
You should probably say that. There are so many things that they could do of very low cost, like even just calling them VIP tickets. You don't have to give them anything special. Just say they're VIP tickets.
Yeah.
I would be interested to know, of all the people who buy this, are these people who are in Korea, or are these people who are definitely going to go for the finals? Like, how much is the tickets worth to them, rather than just being like, I want to drop as much as I can, because I've got the cash.
Right.
I would be very interesting. But, I mean, good on them. I hope all this money does end up going to the prize pool, because it's showing that they are making Australian 18 grand a month. I can only hope that goes to the players.
I mean, is that what they say they're doing with it?
I believe so.
It says, we are aware of your concerns and regrets about the reduction in the size of the GSL prize money and competition this year. In addition, we recognize there is need for crowdfunding. Okay, this is not... The English is struggling. This is like Google Translated.
It might be. I vaguely remember seeing somewhere, I don't remember where, being like, the money will go to the players.
It doesn't say it on the about under their Patreon, that's for sure.
No, maybe I saw it on Twitter. I don't know. Like I said, I hope. It's a hope.
Oh, look. If you go to the home,
yeah,
and you scroll down, then it has the round of 16 Group A profile photo locked behind the $100 a month doodad, and it does look like you just get a photo of every one of the players in the group.
I do see that, but it also looks like it shows I accidentally clicked on it. It was gonna be like, do you want to pay $177? No, to like unlock. But at the very bottom, it looks like it has a slider, so it looks like it's pictures of all the players individually, not a giant collage.
Yes.
So that's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, good for them. And a Group A interviewer seems to be here as well.
Fancy pants.
Well,
you know how I feel about interviews.
I know. It'll let me play it, so it's available to everyone. I hope that's not the behind interview that some people are paying for. Someone's mispost. Yeah. So I was just looking at it. They're making almost 12,000 US a month on this.
Yeah. That's
which
nice.
Yeah, which is nice, which is half of what the prize pool is currently at. Like,
yeah, but was the prize pool removed, or was it just reduced? And this is making up some of the gap,
what do you mean? What do you mean by removed or reduced?
Did they get rid of the prize pool and that's why we're crowdfunding, or did
Yeah.
they slash the prize pool in half and we're crowdfunding to make up the other half?
No, the prize pool is significantly reduced in general. Like, now,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So with the cutbacks at GSL, the entire year, the 3 seasons of GSL this year, in total, have a less of a prize pool than one season did last year.
Okay, so way more than half.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the amount that they're pulling in from Patreon is equal to half, very nearly, what Liquipedia is saying their prize pool is currently at. So if it does get added, then the prize pool is about to go up by a half, which is good. Like, if that's where it goes, and I hope it does.
Absolutely. I think that would be awesome for everyone involved.
I'm just saying, I think that's a good result. If crowdfunding GSL is the way to go, then it's clearly working.
Concur. Let's keep this rolling.
Yeah. Yes. All right, I think that's it for the StarCraft.
Agreed.
See, we didn't piss anyone off talking about how awful the value is on this.
Well,
Nobody's
wasn't
mad.
anticipating somebody would wander in and like catch us live and be like, "Screw you guys." I figured, I don't know, this is a VOD. It's out there. Someone can watch this in like a year.
And be mad at, like, what did we say that would invite anger? That we said it was poor value? It is poor value.
It is.
It's incredibly poor value.
Huh. All right. Good enough.
All right.
Good enough. So, in some news I wanted to talk about a little bit.
Okay.
It sounds like Pedro Pascal is going to be leaving The Mandalorian.
Okay.
So, my initial reaction was, oh no. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, the entire time this show has been happening, I'm like, this is an utter waste of Pedro Pascal. Like a complete waste of Pedro Pascal. The Mandalorian as a character has no interesting things about him, no depth to him.
Mm-hmm.
He never takes off his helmet. He's taken off his helmet twice in 3 seasons. He never took his helmet off once in season 3.
Okay.
So, like, to pay Pedro Pascal and use his talents for voice acting for this character for seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7, or whatever we're doing is a complete waste, in my opinion.
Sure.
So, because, yeah, if they brought somebody in, I'm sure somebody could do an approximation of Mando's voice and we wouldn't be able to tell because it's so generically boring that I think if they didn't say anything, we would never know. They'd be like, season 4 with Pedro Pascal. And they're like, that Pedro, he's such a great actor. Look at him go.
Really nailing this role.
Yeah. And then at the end of the season, they'd be like, surprise! It wasn't Pedro Pascal at all. And it'd be like, no.
I think the smarter play is to have Pedro Pascal take a las bolt to the throat and then have to do sign language for everything. You know?
Yes.
I
support this plan.
There's a gap in his armor. His helmet just like leaves a gap where his neck is.
Yeah, of course.
It's a weak spot. It makes sense that's where you get hit, and then he can't talk. And then Pedro Pascal can go off to bigger and better and more lucrative things, and they can just have him do sign language, because Baby Yoda, or Grogu as he's known, doesn't talk as far as I'm aware. He doesn't
Correct.
He doesn't vocalize anything. So having him be a character who can know and do sign language and communicate with the Mando probably would work. You know? No,
absolutely. Again, I cannot think of like an iconic line that Mando has said in seasons 1, 2, and 3. That's not his deal. He's a man of few words. He's quiet. He's not super emotional about stuff. He never has like badass lines at all. And so sign language would do just perfectly, I think.
Yeah, you have a group of Mandalorians living in the sewers in Tatooine who, probably don't want to be discovered, but are also like an organization of warriors. They probably have some sort of hand signals to coordinate themselves in firefights, not to give away what they're doing. It's like, hey, let's jump around this corner and shoot them, or so that the enemy doesn't know what you're doing. It makes sense. Again, I mean, I feel like what we're coming to again is Disney just needs to hire me as a writer.
Yeah, I mean, you should be writing for pretty much every studio at this point, the way you're going, because you've just been killing it the last few weeks.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't think I could keep up with the demand for every studio.
I don't know. Like, if they were paying you well enough, you could just quit your job. You'd have a lot of free time, man.
Yeah, but I might run out of ideas though. Like, no show that's going for like 300 episodes is always quality. If I'm suddenly put in front of like 10 studios and each with like 2 or 3 shows. Whew, I'm gonna
burn out real fast.
15 of those shows are gonna be great, but the 16th it'll just be.
That's fair. Oh, that's funny.
Hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, initially I was kind of like, "Oh no, Pedro," but I really think it's going to have no bearing on anything at all.
Probably not.
There will be people who won't hear about this and not be able to tell the difference, guaranteed.
Yep, would not surprise me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So in other Star Wars news, I watched a video today that kind of talked about how Star Wars recently, Filoni especially, has been very interested in bringing characters into a show that didn't exist previously in the show, but existed in another property.
Okay.
Right? And does nothing to help you understand who these characters are.
Okay.
Like bringing Ahsoka or Bo-Katan into The Mandalorian. They've got history in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, and have done a ton of things. And at no point is the Mandalorian like, so, here's some backstory. Here's some like, here's the relationships they have to each other. Like, here's some stuff. They're just like, nah, it's Ahsoka. She's cool. I was like, well, I know that. I've watched the Clone Wars. But like people who haven't, and there's a lot of people who haven't watched the Clone Wars, don't know anything about Ahsoka.
There are people at my work who watched The Mandalorian but have not seen the original trilogy, did not know who Luke Skywalker is when he turned up.
Bingo! That's exactly the point. So now there's an Ahsoka show, and in the trailer, they're like, Grand Admiral Thrawn is back. And it's like, okay.
Who was that? Where did he go?
If you don't know who that is, what's the point of that line in the trailer?
Somehow, Grand Admiral Thrawn has returned.
Yes! That's exactly right. So, but my perspective is someone who knows this stuff. So I didn't have that outsider perspective until recently. Like in the trailer, it's like Thrawn's back, and I'm like, that is so cool. But like,
who's playing Thrawn?
Anyone? I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Someone they're painting blue. That sucks.
Pedro Pascal.
No, and he got red eyes too, so he has to have like red contacts. It's not going to be a fun portrayal.
Who was it? Jennifer Lawrence that played Mystique in the X-Men? That was blue with red eyes.
Yeah, really.
Well, she had red hair. Red hair, gold eyes. Close enough. Yeah. She's used to the makeup though. That'll be fine.
I don't know.
She can make a great Thrawn. She can make a great Thrawn. She's their age.
Yeah. And I mean, Thrawn is tough because, like, more people probably watch the Clone Wars because it is a kids show and it was on when a lot of people were kids who are now adults.
Sure.
But Thrawn is books. Thrawn is books, and I guess he was on Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, he was on Rebels. I was going to say
he was.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. But I mean, I don't know. Like anyone who's, I don't know that Rebels got that many people watching it, but. Maybe they did as well as Clone Wars. I don't know. But yeah, same thing. It's just Filoni expects anybody who's watching a Star Wars property to be intimately familiar with every other Star Wars property. And I don't know if that's how we want to do that, you know?
So this is basically Star Wars written as fanfic, where the point of fanfic is that the reader, or in this case the viewer, is already familiar and you can kind of just skip to the good bits where characters become their own context. But it does require everyone to understand that context already. Right?
Yeah, like a Sonic fanfic isn't going to spend any time explaining to you how awesome and rad Sonic is and why.
Right. Or, a Batman. Everyone understands who Batman is. You just need to be like, okay, here's Batman and now he's a pirate. You understand the general... Bam. This is what Batman is. So that's basically what sounds like what he's doing with people from other Star Wars stuff, where he's just like putting them in here and being like, they contextualize themselves. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I hate fan fiction. But so thank you for warding me away from anything upcoming Star Wars.
You're very welcome. Again, nothing's been great except for Andor. So like I honestly don't recommend anything but Andor as far as anything Star Wars over the last years at this point. Like Rise of Skywalker sucked. Last Jedi sucked. So the mainstream movies haven't been good, and the shows have been anywhere from Andor was amazing, but nothing's approached it. Obi-Wan was Boba Fett was garbage. Mandalorian was kind of it was fun initially, and it's kind of turned into this thing that's not fun anymore.
Right. It's no longer what we liked about it.
Yeah. It's turned into this clearinghouse for everything that Star Wars wants to launch.
What about Bad Batch?
Bad Batch is okay.
Okay.
Like, Bad Batch is not bad, but I wouldn't call it...
You wouldn't call it the good batch.
I certainly would not, no.
What about Star Wars Visions?
Visions?
Was the animated piece with it's like a collection of short stories, individual episodes or something?
Yeah. So that... I liked Visions. I would recommend Visions, because Visions is like, hey, artist, creator, director, writer, use the Star Wars toolbox and tell your own story.
Right.
With your own flair on it and your own artistic style and your own everything. We're not going to mess with you at all because this isn't canon. We don't care. And some really great stuff came out of that. So yeah, I would recommend that. I forget about it though, but it was really good.
I had totally forgotten about it, but I pulled up the Disney Plus page for the Star Wars collection. I was just going through and looking at stuff you didn't mention.
Yeah, smart.
Yeah.
There's also Tales of the Jedi. Fairly recent. It's largely Ahsoka centered, and it's okay. It just adds some context to some Clone Wars stuff, and especially Ahsoka Central story stuff.
Fair enough.
So it's fine, but I don't super recommend it.
Fair enough. I mean, I will say that overall, I probably wouldn't rewatch something like the Kenobi TV show, but I did enjoy it at the time. The things that I can remember about it is Ewan McGregor being Obi-Wan Kenobi, and that's all I wanted. So, I got
why people tune in. They're
exactly.
Like, Obi-Wan back, let's go.
Exactly. So, thumbs up for me on that. I enjoyed the Solo movie, which was the last of the spin-off movies.
The Solo movie, right.
I thought it was not bad. I might even say good in parts. They really set up some stuff that just didn't pay off or like come to fruition anywhere.
That's because the movie made like $4.
Yeah, well,
it bombed. Disney was not happy with this one. It only made see, this is ridiculously and hilarious. It made $200 million
on a budget of.
That's the budget. I lied. Budget $275 million. And
it made
worldwide it made $392 million.
So it turned a profit, if nothing else.
Certainly did.
Assuming, and this is a big assumption, that their production value budget that they have listed includes their advertising budget. Yeah, marketing.
Which
it probably doesn't.
Right. So it very well could have broken even or been
close to it or slightly bad.
For Disney.
Yeah. But
so that's why. If it had made $500 million, $800 million, we would have continued with the Solo story.
Oh, yeah. If. There's a big if there. Yeah.
Yeah. But they see it as a loser, so.
Yep. Which is sad. But, oh well. Oh well.
Yeah. Did I miss anything? Anything in the last 5-6 years of Star Wars?
I mean, in terms of canonical experiences, Star Wars Battlefront 2 has a story which is supposedly canonical. Yeah.
Oh.
And I believe the Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor are both considered canonical experiences. Which are generally well-received games.
Yeah, that's true. again, the PC port of Survivor has been hot garbage. But every PC release for the last year has not been super hot. So
no,
that's
surely
not
not.
not everyone, but it is a worrying pattern with some big ones recently.
Sort of.
Anyway, whatever. Yeah. So, right. And so I'm sure Mandalorian's going to have the protagonist from Jedi Survivor pop in at some point because that's, again, the Mandalorian is a clearinghouse for Star Wars characters and projects and ideas that they want to introduce to the people at large because everyone watches the Mandalorian. It's their most watched thing.
Yeah.
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 So funny. So funny.
Well.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Star Wars is in a meh place.
Yeah, well, there is a new movie coming up as well. I'm hesitant to call it, but episode 10, since Miss Daisy Ridley is apparently rumored to be reprising her role.
That's what the rumors have been.
So
is that officially announced or is that rumor?
I think that's rumor. But if that's the case, I would speculate as an episode 10.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I episode 10 in the same way that like Rogue One is 3.5, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so episode 9.5.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So where did Yeah, nothing's been officially announced by Disney. So where are these rumors coming from?
Reuters, apparently.
Okay. What does it say in the Reuters article?
Daisy Ridley to return as Rey in one of 3 new Star Wars films.
Okay.
That's
and
the
sourcing
headline.
There is Disney?
Los Angeles, April 7, Reuters. Walt Disney Co. on Friday unveiled plans for 3 new Star Wars films, including one with Daisy Ridley. So it sounds like they said so.
Totally. Yeah, it does. That's interesting. I searched Daisy Ridley and like that doesn't the official announcement doesn't pop at all, and I don't like you think it would, but whatever.
Here's a sentence that I know you'll love. Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy announced the projects at London at the annual Star Wars Celebration fan convention, where the actress took to the stage to confirm her return to the blockbuster franchise.
Gotcha. So Star Wars Celebration stuff.
Yep.
That's cool. I mean, look, I think Daisy Ridley is a fine actress. I think the concept of Rey is great. I really loved what they set up with her in The Force Awakens. And I was excited to see where she would go from there.
Yep.
And then like,
I
they
mean,
didn't do anything. They didn't do it. I don't know. It's just all wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they gave her was it gold or orange, yellow lightsabers at the end, but explained nothing. Again, they expect you to have the context is apparent for what that is.
And for super hardcore Star Wars nerds, it is.
It's
not like everyone. It's not even close to everyone.
No.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Super cool.
Yep.
They could have done so much stuff. I told this story like 8 times, but man, when she blows up that shuttle and she thinks she's killed Chewie, like that could have been such good character development. That could have been something really interesting to chew on and like progress through and have her come out the other side interesting. But instead, it's like, nah, he's fine. And Rey suffers no emotional damage from this, no trauma. She's just moving on like normal. It's like, why? Why did we have to do it this way?
Yeah, that movie has issues, to say the least. I mean, they've threatened the death of one of the original cast by like having her maybe kill Chewbacca, right?
By
accident,
which is interesting too.
Which is interesting, right? I'll give all that. I hated the fact that she used Force Lightning, and it was like, oh, she has Force Lightning because she's a Palpatine. Like I thought that still irks me. That was dumb and stupid in a lot of ways. But then
Agreed.
they try to set up the death of the original cast again by having C-3PO like lose all his memories, and then they also walk that back right at the end as well. They're just like, one, nobody in that movie liked C-3PO. Nobody has ever liked C-3PO, and they try to give him the touching like, I'm sacrificing this for my friends, and nobody gives a shit. They're just like, hurry up and wipe your mind.
Yeah, and the audience is like, yeah, we don't care.
Move on. Yeah.
Let's do it.
So stupid. And then they walk it back as well. So,
and that all stems from, again, they panicked, brought J.J. Abrams back to make the third movie when J.J. has no interest or capability of ending a story at all. He doesn't have an ending a story gene in his entire body. Yeah, and he didn't end it well, and I like, who's surprised by this? Apparently Disney was. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
He's good at seeding ideas and introducing mystery boxes, and then fucking off and doing his own thing in another project, and then someone else has to come in and answer all these questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you needed someone to do that, and Ryan Johnson was like, "Screw you! I'm not answering these questions."
Do you know how many movies he's directed? Well, actually, this isn't even... I'm looking at his filmography, and it's like, just for films, he's directed 6 films. He's been a writer on another 7 or 6 by the looks of it.
Okay.
So, like, just in films, he actually doesn't have that big of a resume.
Which is a lot of writing for TV, though.
Oh, yeah. Weirdly enough, I think he has written an incredible good movie with a good ending. Armageddon in 1998.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. Armageddon's a classic.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's Mission Impossible 3. I think that was one of the good ones.
That's a good one. 3's a good one.
He's co-written it. Wasn't solely him.
Right. And I like the Star Trek 2009 reboot he did. I really think that's a fun movie that introduces a lot of interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The pacing is great. The action is really fun. The acting is cool. Like, I like it. I don't remember that being like, and the ending is garbo.
Well, I mean, it's got a bunch of time travel in it. I'm surprised you like it.
Well, and that's the thing. He opened the Pandora's box of, I put my Star Trek in another multiverse from the one that you know. So I don't have to pay attention to your continuity because it doesn't apply. Big middle fingers is what that was. So in a way, I respect that from him. Like, he wasn't trying to create paradoxes. He literally was just like, I don't want to deal with 50 years of Star Trek continuity.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing my own thing in my own multiverse, and if it's different from what you expect to happen, screw you. It's my story.
Right. But that you could make that argument about everything that does time travel, where it's like, just because he's giving the middle finger to established continuity, you could just say that anything with TV has established continuity, just nobody's seen it. Like, it doesn't exist. And every time a writer introduces time travel, they're giving a middle finger to the way that you could interpret the series of events would unfold. And but you hate that because it's time travel. You shaking your head? You don't hate time travel. Okay.
No,
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I'm just playing with you. But, like, because here's the thing. You still introduce time travel. There's still now an established continuity in the Star Trek movie. And you now have to make sure there are no paradoxes there.
No.
Because it's time travel. It's time travel. You can't not have paradoxes with time travel.
No, it's multiverse. It's not time travel.
It's time travel.
Nope.
Time travel and multiverse are the same thing.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
Multiversal travel is different from time travel. Multiversal time travel as a concept was introduced to avoid the paradox concept of you go back in time to your existing time stream, change something, whoops, paradox. But multiversal, you go back in time, change something, bam, new multiverse branches off. The original time stream is left alone. You can't fuck with it because that's not how this works. You're in a new multiversal branch that starts at the point you went back to, and you're doing your own thing now. That has nothing to do with your original time stream.
Okay, but they have... Okay, so Back to the Future Part 2 has that exact same explanation for how Biff goes back and, like, has a book of sports bets and makes a new timeline, but then they just go back even further and stop it from happening. Like,
yeah, I know. Because they're doing linear time travel. They lied about it. It's just like Endgame. Endgame's like, we're not doing linear time travel. That's stupid. There's paradoxes. And then they did linear time travel. You can say you're not doing linear time travel and then do it anyway, apparently. It's a really favorite thing for them to do.
Right. So, but is there anything stopping Star Trek to just be like, okay, we're going to revisit this time travel thing and then doing the exact same thing? Or is it just because at the moment it appears that they haven't fucked with anything? Because it's split off.
Like, do another split off of the existing split?
Well, no. Okay, so there's this split that is already established in this Star Trek movie in 2009 or whatever it was. Could they go back and fuck with it again if they kept using the... Like, if they basically just lied and said, no, it didn't actually split, we're just going to do linear time travel instead again.
You could tell a story that's taking place within the original linear timeline of the original Star Trek story. If you wanted to. Yeah.
Okay. But that doesn't change what happened in that movie to you. If they used the same principle.
Star Trek 2009 is a different multiverse.
But that's semantics. Like, you're saying it's split off to a different verse, and, like, they said that in Endgame, and then they were just like, nah. But, like, what I'm saying is, could they use the time travel mechanic that they set up in Star Trek again and change the way it functions to change your understanding of how it functioned in the previous movie? Is that something that is possible?
Sure. I guess if they wanted to do that.
Okay. So, to me, those are the same things. The possibility and them just not doing it doesn't mean it isn't the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I look at that. But I like time travel, so I don't know why we're arguing. Because you liked it, and I think time travel's fine.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, but the original conversation. I do like Star Trek 2009 from Abrams.
I thought it was okay.
The first 3 seasons of Lost are great TV. Have you watched the pilot yet? Have we talked about this?
Yeah, I've seen like the first season of Lost. I watched it when it aired as like I wouldn't say as a kid, probably like teen. I think Lost, the first 3 seasons of Lost are probably great in the same way that the first 3 seasons of Game of Thrones are great, where none of it actually matters, so you'll never go back and rewatch it, like, and have an enjoyable experience, because you know.
Agreed. I did rewatch the pilot a few weeks ago, though.
Oh, yes?
Like, I just want to remember this. And yeah, part of me was like, well, that's a mystery that never goes anywhere. That's a question that never gets answered. Oh, okay. But overall, it just does such an amazing job of establishing everything that the show is going to be about and developing like 14 different characters just brilliantly. Like, it's just so carefully perfect in the way it spins all those plates. We've talked about that with like Endgame and Infinity War. Just a writer's ability to take that many characters and make them all feel important without making it feel like there's 14 characters crammed in there. Anyway, yeah, it's really good.
Yep. What was I going to say? If I remember correctly, the pilot for Lost was one of the most expensive pilots ever made at the time.
Yeah, it was. And if the first season had flopped, I think they would have fired everyone to do with that project forever from ABC, because they were like, you spent how much on this thing?
Right. Well, that's the thing. Somebody, I can't remember who it was on their way out, or like believed they were about to be fired, and they knew that it was this horrifically expensive pilot that they were considering, and he approved it because he thought, well, I'm on the way out, fuck him, you know.
Yep.
They can blow all this money, and then it turned out to be really well, and they brought it back.
And it turned out to be one of the biggest hits of that 10-year stretch for ABC. So
yeah,
it worked out. Yeah.
Yep.
So there are times, like, I have Facebook posts from the mid 2000s where I'm just like, I will watch anything J.J. Abrams ever makes for the rest of my life. Like, this guy is amazing. He can do no wrong. But as usual, you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. So that's where I ended up. What's he working on right now?
Duster.
Duster?
Duster. It's a TV series, crime thriller created by J.J. Abrams and Latoya Morgan.
Rachel Wilson and Josh Holloway.
The first black FBI agent teams up with a getaway driver to take down a major crime syndicate operating in the Southwest in 1972.
Okay. Well,
Sure.
I mean, it's going to be on HBO, so there's going to be a ton of money involved, and it's going to look really good.
Well, that's something.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a try. Who knows? Who knows? So anyway, Star Wars is in a tough place. So, okay, back to the original point.
What was the original?
Rey.
Oh, Rey.
If they can give Rey some character development, it'd be really nice. If they can give her some struggles she overcomes and have her learn some things and like develop new skills and develop relationships with people that matter, like all of this stuff could be so good.
I think the time is past for that.
You don't think she's redeemable?
I don't trust them to do it, but so the way I look at it is they're going back to a franchise with a singular developed Jedi and being like, let's do something with this person. Last time they did that, it was with Luke Skywalker, and a lot of people did not like that, what they did with him. And then
they had Mandalorian, they sure did.
Well, in the Mandalorian, but they he showed up, swung his lightsaber, and like left with a child. He didn't really do much. But when they actually tried to develop this finished or settled character further, they really botched it. From some people's perspective.
Yes.
Rey, in theory, at the end of her own trilogy, should be a finished and settled character. Who has gone through some sort of personal character growth. That is at least the idea.
Yes.
You know. So I just don't know that they'll come back to that and do it any justice. Like, the lessons that she might learn or the characters she might form relationships with, I feel like she should already have by the time she's like, well, I'm deep enough in the Jedi Order to know why I need a yellow lightsaber, you know?
Yeah. Agreed. I do want to make the point, too, this is not a Rey problem. This is a Rey, Poe, and Finn problem. All three of the main characters from the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Nothing happened with them. They didn't progress. They didn't grow. There's some stuff in there with Finn about his stormtrooper past that could have been really good, and they just never went with it.
Nope.
Poe has nothing to do after getting slapped by Carrie Fisher.
Does he get slapped by Carrie Fisher?
Yeah. Remember in The Last Jedi when he blows up the Dreadnought but like loses all their ships and comes back, he's like, I'm awesome. And then she's like, take this, you toxic male, bam, and slaps him in the face. And it's like, oh, you're just trying to help. Yeah, that was not a good moment.
Well, he deserved it. There's trying to help, and then there's defying your commander's orders in a firefight. Right? Like,
True. True.
Chain of command. You know what it is? It's the chain I go and beat you with till you know who's in command.
Accurate.
Again, that's one of the failings of that movie. It's like, well, okay, so he's on the out. Someone else is in charge again, because Leia's unconscious. She should be dead, but she's just unconscious. Another failing in that movie. They had every opportunity to have him do something very interesting there, where he doesn't know if he can trust parts of the crew. You know, all of this stuff. And he could have learnt, like, he could have had a character moment where he's like, oh, okay, the people who are in charge here aren't always right, but they are generally having a plan, and I need to be... It's kind of a dim, or like a dark moment where he just kind of needs to learn to be his place in the machine. trust orders, follow commands, maybe. It's a little bit too much. It's not necessarily like an empowering thing because he was already pretty empowered, just like given free reign to attack a dreadnought. It's a weird story arc that I'm picturing here, but I don't know. Maybe they could have done something better there than what I can think. For once, don't hire me as a writer, Disney.
Probably would have been better, whatever you came up with.
Possibly. It would have been more interesting and fun to watch than I'm going to just not get told things and then have a coup,
Right. Exactly. It's just super stupid. Well, then it's Rian Johnson. Like, I really, really liked his Knives Out, his first one. It's cleverly written. There's twists. There's interesting stuff. There's character development and characterization. Like, all that stuff is great. Like, I see why they hired him for this, but it did not translate into the Star Wars movie that he wrote and directed. So I don't know what happened. I don't get it.
Fair enough. Star Wars was his 4th feature film.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Apparently directed a bunch of Breaking Bad. I'm just looking for like whatever else Rian Johnson's done at this point.
Uh-huh. He did a Knives Out sequel called Glass Onion.
Yep. I see that.
Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I don't know.
He did Looper. He directed and wrote Looper.
Yeah. I do like Looper.
Isn't that also time travel? Are you sure you don't like time travel? Like, that's one of like the core foundational myths of who you are to me. It's like, oh, it's Falcon Paladin. He casts StarCraft and hates time travel. But all I'm learning today is you like time travel.
We might have to investigate this on a future episode, yes.
Okay.
But I think we got to wrap this up.
Okay.
It is time to wrap it up, but we'll save that for later.
All right.
All right. So thanks for joining us on a meandering episode of the Falcon Paladin Hour. Thanks for joining us again at twitch.tv/Somicron. We're casting these live there on Monday nights if you're in North America and Tuesday mornings if you are in Australia.
True facts.
You can support the podcast directly at patreon.com/Somicron and falconpaladin.store by buying merch.
Yeah, head over to patreon.com/Somicron and make sure to hit up the 1,000 USD where you will get 2 tickets to the show.
Yes.
But only for the finals.
Right. And not guaranteed where your seat position will be.
No. I'm going to make that a perk right now.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, until next week, same time, same place, stay safe and stay healthy. And above all, you take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Bye.